Hello, my friends. Today is March the 29th, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date. This is approximately a 10-minute reading, so hang in there with me. It's a four-card pull, a general energy card that might sustain through the year or punctuate the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance this year, and an outcome or synopsis card. This is the general energy card of the year. It is the animal. And the animal always asks us to remember that we have a wild part of ourselves. We have a part of ourselves that craves nature, that wants to get its claws dirty, that wants to run wild, run naked, if you will, run, just run in the woods, be free, dance, enjoy, imbibe, taste the waters of the stream, eat the berries off the bush, sit and meditate into the starry sky of eternity, listen to the wild calls of the night, trusting oneself among shadows and light, and when filters and trees and filters and leaves are playing tricks on us, but it calls us to something wild and intoxicating and unpredictable, but also magical, and also monumental in our own bodies because we need that energy. There's something primal inside of us that begs to have that wildness. Our lowest three chakras, on some level, beg to have that wildness return to us. Our heart wants to have that wildness return to us in some way. It needs to have that feeling and that spurt of life, that connection to being grounded, to being wild, to being connected to other things other than just the sight and the cell phone and the organization that happens all around us. It needs to break free and dance. Sometimes the animal part is so strong that it takes over, and we forget about our senses of how to be um, in civilization, basically, how to what we can, push through, what we can hold on to, how we can, align ourselves or adjust ourselves or color outside the lines but stay inside the box kind of energies. So when the animal takes over that and doesn't allow us to be part of society, sometimes that wildness needs to have, a hermitage for a while, and maybe that's going to be for a long time and maybe not. But the animal in us can either control us or can work with us or can be denied. So if we get our animal side of ourselves to work with us and give ourselves, partial civilization and partial animal powers and experience, then we usually dance a lot better as humans. Um, this is a particular challenge. Speaking of dancing, this is the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is one that says you've worked hard at something. You physically worked hard at something. You've accomplished something. You've built something. You know something really deeply about your body, quite possibly, or about your sense of resources, or your sense of actually physically building something, pottery, a business. Learning anything to do with the hands and the arms and the willful going forward to make something happen on this earth. That's what the pentacles do. And the 10 is a celebratory time because something has been achieved. So why can't you celebrate? Why aren't you celebrating? Why don't you allow yourself some wild abandon? Look at the animal here, the wild abandon in one's dance, the letting go, the freeing of one's soul, the dancing of one's joy, the celebration of one's accomplishments. Those are when we can touch the wild animal part of ourselves, and step outside of our preconditioned lines and our judgmental opinions and our minds that always acting and free ourselves. But that's your challenge, stepping out of yourself. What is stepping out of yourself? Why can't you let yourself enjoy something and 10 is also a stepping off point. Satisfaction in what you're doing says, do I want to go deeper with this now, or can I be satisfied at the level that I've achieved on something? So there's a lot of questions that sit in this particular time too. So it might be a sense of anxiety. It might be a sense of, if I let go, I'll lose it all. It might be a sense of, if I don't toe the line, uh, then somebody's going to make me wrong, and somebody's going to make me bad, and I could lose something, some part of myself that I want to protect and want to hide. So this is the action to take. Horse again. Look at the power. This is about power. This is about, what are you going to use your sense of power to do? And you have a lot of power. You have a lot of energy to make journeys. This is what horses do. They pull a lot of things. They travel fast. They make great journeys. They have been, the stabilizers of civilization for a long time. When horse came into societies, did societies become more grounded and more civilized and more able to cross distances and get things that were needed. But also, horses about psychic journeys. Horsehide drums were used. Because there were transporters, and they could carry the drummer through time and space to go to the liminal planes to get the information that was needed, talk to the ancestors, hear the voices, speak to the essences, talk to Creator, listen for, seek help from the animal guides and the spirit guides and the ancestors. All of that is available through horse. So what is this saying? What it says, I think, to travel, to get out, to do something, to use your power, to go journey. Maybe it's a journey, a drum journey, to listen to your higher consciousness. Maybe it's a physical journey to get out and be among people, among real people, among, the senses of people who are living, and not just, tying themselves into a box and tying themselves into a particular headset. Maybe you need to free yourself from some of that restrictive mind and energy of the body that is keeping you, I think, from enjoying your body, enjoying your time, enjoying your pleasure, and celebrating in who you are and what you have become, and not to fear it. You can't fear that wild animal part of yourself. You have to respect it, and you have to know, more about your boundaries, but you have to let it crack you open, and you have to let it dance itself through you. You have to let it romp you across the great prairies. You have to let it talk to you in psychic words and psychic understandings. And you have to let it empower you again, because you have a lot of power, and you don't have to give all your power away. The horse is also about seeing, looking without prejudice. Horses, they don't care what color other horses are. They don't care. They're gonna they're gonna have relationships with other horses, and they don't care. So this is about unbridling yourself from prejudices and opinions that keep you separate from yourself and others. And maybe ultimately that's what this is about: opinions that keep you separate from yourself and separate from others. Things that you hold bad about yourself, or things that you hold bad about others. But that always bleeds back into us looking at ourselves, saying, well, why am I holding a bad opinion about somebody? So this is about doing the heavy work and maybe appreciating something of pain in you, but you have to set it free. You have to set it free so you can become balanced again. And this is the outcome card. Um, there's a sacredness to the wild animal, and I think, the orange light in this saint's belly says that they're still alive in their passions. They're still alive in their humanness. They're still alive in their body. They still work their body and touch their existence every day, and give themselves to senses of animalistic pleasure, animalistic body movements, animalistic understandings, intuitions, the wild things that come in the dark. So the animal, being in touch with all those things, we can be in touch with all those things. And it's the sacredness of the animal. It's the sacredness of the animal inside of us. And that's what we can come to this year for those on this date, March the 29th. The sacredness of the horse, the sacredness of the animal, the sacredness of the wild, the untamed, the intuitional, the instinctual, the feeling, the sensual, the beingness, the survival, the power of the animals that we often forget about and often forget are inside of us. So, Ahau Mitakuye Oyasin, blessed be to your animal discovery and journey.